Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing. Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 146 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. So, how's the state of the union? How are things going for you? Are you feeling good and making things happen? Are you having fun? Life is supposed to feel good, and I hope you're having fun. I've thought a lot about my perception of fun lately. I think I've talked about it a little bit, but I have food allergies. In fact, I'm now a client of Dr. Osborne, who I interviewed in episode 122 about food sensitivities. If you haven't listened to that one, it's really good. Anyway, I've since found out I'm gluten sensitive, and I also am allergic to dairy and some other things like broccoli. Believe it or not, I'm allergic to broccoli. Who is? But we're getting on a path to getting super healthy because I was having some issues with my hands, and now we know why. So the reason why I'm telling you all of this is because my idea of fun is having to shift. Like, I've always sort of said that I'm not a cook. I would say I don't enjoy cooking. Well, with this change in my diet, it's difficult to eat out and be super healthy in the way I want to be. We love to eat out, and we do eat healthy-ish when we go out, but we don't really know if we're eating organic. We don't know if the meats are free range. We really don't know exactly what they're putting in the food. So all of that's going to have to change. I also have favorite meals at these restaurants, and that's going to have to change as well. We were headed this last week to one of our favorite brunch places, and I caught myself having the thought that, well, I can't eat anything good anymore, so I'm just not looking as forward to it as I used to. I also had the thought that one of our great joys would be going away if we had to stop eating out. I was really feeling sorry for myself. But then I stopped and I thought, okay, yes, we enjoy eating out. Yeah, that's going to have to change quite a bit. And my diet is changing drastically, but that doesn't mean I can't eat anything good anymore. Of course it doesn't. My idea of good just has to shift. The thoughts I tell myself about what's fun just has to shift a little bit. I mean, if I go around with the thought that all our joy is being taken away, what good's that going to do for me? The result is still going to be the same. We won't be going to restaurants as much, and I'm not going to be eating some of the yummy things I was eating before. But with thoughts like I was having, of course I would feel like I'm missing out, like I'm not going to have as much fun as we once did. But those are just thoughts, and those are thoughts I can change, and I will. The old thought that because I have food allergies, so much of what I love and enjoy is having to go away, that has to change. My new thoughts are I have food allergies, and I can still do everything I want to do. I have food allergies, and it might be fun learning to cook for my friends and family. I have food allergies, and I can still meet friends at a restaurant for a drink. And while I'm talking about drinking, I was having a conversation with a friend recently. We were kind of talking about alcohol and sort of the same thing I've been talking about. And I always try to be transparent with you guys. So I do like to drink sometimes. I enjoy it. I'm not a teetotaler, and a lot of my mentors are. Maybe one day I will be too, but for now I like to have a drink with friends, and I think that's fun. But my friend was saying she wanted to cut back her drinking, but she was just having a hard time because her thought is it's no fun going out without having a drink. So we talked about it, and I said the same thing I was talking about earlier. Maybe her idea of fun just needed to shift a little bit. I mean, why is it only fun when she drinks? Is that just a thought and she just really hasn't even given it a chance to not have a drink? Maybe it's just habit. When my husband and I go out to restaurants, I usually do have a drink, really out of habit. Now, I realized it was habit because I had my niece over who is 15, and we had the best day going ziplining and treetop adventures here locally. We had so much fun, and then we went to a restaurant for dinner, one that we frequent quite a bit. And when I usually go to this restaurant, I usually order a drink. But it's just me and her, and she's 15. I'm not going to have a drink in that scenario. But we still had just as much fun, and I didn't miss drinking at all. See, I just shifted the way I think about fun. I have the thought that I cannot drink at a restaurant and still have fun. I just proved it. I proved it to myself. So it's different, and some of these changes are good. So that's okay. Change is the only constant in life. Our life really is a series of changes. What we make those changes mean has everything to do with the quality of our life. Sometimes the change is voluntary, like what I'm doing with my nutrition, and sometimes it's involuntary, like what the whole world had to deal with during COVID. The result, though, is going to be the same, so why not think about it in a different way? A way that empowers you. We're supposed to be having fun in life. Don't ever let anyone tell you differently. We can have things change and still have fun along the way. We just have to decide up front that we will. And of course, there will be times that aren't fun, and there's nothing we can do about it. But we can always decide how we think about things. And a lot of times, that starts with the words that we use. Think about the amount of time we say things like, well, I can't because, or I have to do this thing. How much more empowering does it feel to say, I choose to do this, or I get to do this? For example, maybe one of the changes you're experiencing, and I know some of you are, is you're caring for an elderly parent, and your thoughts are, I can't do that because I have to take my mom to the doctor. Maybe you could soften that by saying, I get to take my mom to the doctor. My husband has lost both of his parents, and he'd give anything to be able to say, I have to take my mom to the doctor. When you look at it that way, from a different perspective, it's kind of eye-opening. Life is what you make it. If life is feeling hard for you right now, and I know it is for a lot of people, there are times when life can be hard and we don't think we're going to make it, but always remember, this too shall pass. You should always give yourself space to feel what you're feeling, but if it isn't serving you, don't live there. Soften it with a thought that moves you forward towards empowerment. Making yourself a victim to your circumstances takes all your power away. So yeah, my diet is having to change drastically. And yes, I have moments of feeling sorry for myself, but I'm not going to live there because it doesn't serve me. I choose to think about things that do serve me. I choose to think about things that empower me. It's life-changing. Things are always working out in my favor, and they're always working out in your favor too, even if it doesn't seem like it. If you look at life through that lens, you'll always be looking for the good in every situation. Being super aware of my thoughts has been one of the biggest growth points of my life because I'm able to see the places where I'm causing my own grief. Are there areas in your life where you're causing your own grief? Are there changes in your life you have no control over, but you could think new thoughts that empower you? My challenge to you this week is to become aware of the thoughts that aren't serving you. And we all have them. You may just not be aware of them. But take one of those thoughts and turn it around. Our thoughts create our reality. They just do. And becoming aware of the ones that are causing us grief and turning them into something that makes us feel empowered is life-changing. You can do it. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you in a few days. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.